Hi guys, Tracy Taylor here from Tailor Made Transformations. Today this one's going to be a little bit more for the ladies, but not necessarily. I mean, I think a lot of guys can benefit from this because, like I said before, most of my clients, well, probably about 80% of my clients are women and the other 20% men. Although I have definitely been signing on more male clients lately, and I love that because I learn from them as well, and I think we learn from each other. Some of my best friends through life have been males, and they just have a different outlook on life than a lot of females. So I really gain perspective from both sexes. But today I want to talk a little bit about divorced dad syndrome, and I have to tell you, what I'm going to talk about in this is my experience as a coach, and then also just in my personal life with friends and such. I have found that a lot of dads, after they get divorced, carry an immense amount of guilt. I think women, for the most part, do have some guilt at first. Women, I think, are able to deal with a lot of their emotions better just because we have a stronger support network around us. Usually we have quite a few friends, and so we're able to communicate that through friends and talk it out, and just the processing of those emotions through communication is huge, whereas guys tend to keep things bottled up a lot, and without that communication and talking through with another person, it's hard to process things. And it takes a lot longer to process them. And so if you're not able to open up and really share and talk with another person, that stuff can really eat you alive. So I would encourage you, if you're that type of person, to really find someone, whether it's somebody you pay, a therapist, a coach, or if you are able to have a friend or a relative or something. I would encourage you to really try and open up if you're that type of person, because these are things that will eat you alive. I mean, they will hurt your health in the long run. And not to mention, people that have a good support network generally live longer. They're healthier. They have happier lives. And so anyway, divorced dad syndrome. It's something that I've seen a lot in male clients and friends as well. And it's this level of guilt that they carry after getting divorced for many reasons. Sometimes because there was infidelity. Sometimes it's just because the family units broke up. It doesn't really matter. There's usually some type of level of guilt in it, and it's very deep. And so when the kids come over, it's like vacation city instead of everyone carrying on with their normal everyday daily life, which is really what should happen after you get divorced. When the kids come over, it shouldn't be like, oh, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese now, and we're going to Sky Zone another day. And it should really be a carrying on of everyday life. Things as usual. I see a lot of dads that they get so engrossed in their kids' lives that they're with them 24/7. They don't really think they should have a life. They do not try to pick their lives up after they've gotten divorced. After a divorce, people generally tend to lose friends. Just because, unfortunately, people pick sides. I mean, it's just the way it is. And so you have to pick your life up, and you have to start new friendships. And a lot of times, too, if you are divorced and single with kids, it's kind of hard to mesh with other families that aren't like that. So it's really a starting over. And it can go one of two ways. You can make it a reinvention of you and make you into who you want to be, or you can let it end your life. And I see with a lot of guys, they're tending to let it be an ending of their life and thinking that as their kids get older, that they will have then pick their life up again. But the problem is then they never really don't, because if you're that way now, then it extends even as your kids get older, and then you become a grandparent, or and then they've gone off to school, and it's almost impossible to really then at that point make a life when you're in your mid-50s. People have moved on with their lives, and while you had your life stuck on hold for kids, everyone else has moved on. And you can't, well, I mean, you can, but the problem is that everyone's moved on with their life, and when you're in your mid-50s, it's really hard to just start completely over. I mean, it's never easy to start completely over, but the older you get, the harder it gets. And so there's these dads that are doing this, like I say, divorced dad syndrome, and they may date, but it's never really serious, which, you know, is not, number one, right to do to somebody that you're dating. Number two, it's kind of hard on your psyche when you go from relationship to relationship to relationship, because it's a failure each and every time. And then you begin to blame either yourself. A lot of them will blame themselves, but they usually then become skewed to thinking all women are, there's something wrong with all women. And so what I have done with my clients is we have really had to take numbers of steps to break free from this, and it's something that's ingrained pretty well. Guilt is a powerful emotion, and I see it a lot with people who have addiction issues too. There's a lot of guilt, a lot of resentment. When you learn to forgive yourself and forgive somebody else, whether that person's giving you an apology or not, then you'll be set free. Forgiveness is never for you. For someone else. It's always for you. So you have to really learn to forgive, even if you've not gotten the apology. Sit down, write the apology you need to hear from the other person. Read it to yourself every day until your mind believes it, because there's a level of resentment and guilt attached to these things that's very deep, and it's changing it on a mind level. So until you move past that, your life's not going to move past that either. So hope that helps somebody today. And if you would take a moment to comment, subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it, and have a great day.